consequences will be if we keep on increasing the emission of greenhouse gases into our environment, like extreme weather events, loss of livelihood, loss of home, and glacier retreat, monsoonal rainfall deficit. These all are the consequences of greenhouse gas emission when it is happening at a very large scale. Now we will study that what is Panchmitra. As you can see in the screen, that Panchmitra is the commitment made by the India at COP26 Glasgow Summit. COP26 Glasgow Summit, India has made some commitments to achieve some target by itself, known as Panchmitra. The first commitment that India has made is net zero by 2070. Means India will achieve the net zero, means carbon neutrality, by 2070. However, the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, has set the target for every country to achieve the net zero target by 2050. But it is it is way ahead of the time that what has been set by the IPCC. What do you mean by net zero? Net zero means the carbon which will be emitted in the atmosphere by some sources like vehicular emission, agricultural practices, stubble burning, industrial related activities. All these activities will cause the emission of greenhouse gases, for example CO2, in the environment. So whatever amount of carbon dioxide is emitted by our sources will be absorbed by some carbon sink like ocean, like forest. So the net amount of carbon that will be present in the atmosphere will be zero. So that's why this is called as net zero by 2070. Our next commitment is to increase the non-fossil fuel energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. Means by the year of 2030 we have to generate 500 gigawatt of electricity by non-fossil fuel. Means earlier it was 175 gigawatt, as you all know that 175 gigawatts by the year 2022, but it has been revised again and it has been set at 500 gigawatt by the year 2030. So non-fossil fuels, from the non-fossil fuel sources we have to generate 500 gigawatt electricity. Our next target is, that is 50% energy requirement from renewable sources by 2030. What are the renewable sources? Renewable sources like solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, biomass energy, biogas, ethanol, methanol. All these are the energy which is coming from renewable sources. So 50% our energy requirement will be from renewable sources by 2030 also. So the second and third point, in both these cases, year is 2030. In first one from the non-fossil fuel, second is from the renewable sources. From the non-fossil fuel we have to generate 500 gigawatt electricity, and in the second point we have to generate 50% energy requirements from renewable sources. Okay. Now the fourth point. Fourth point is reduce carbon intensity of economy by less than 45% by 2030. Carbon intensity means whichever sector, means manufacturing sector or any industrial sector, commercial unit which is producing carbon dioxide or any greenhouse gas, that the intensity of carbon should be reduced, and it should be those industries should be eco-friendly. Eco-friendly means carbon emissions should be reduced less than 45 by 2030. Now our fifth point is reduce total projected carbon emission by 1 billion ton till 2030. All these commitments is will have to achieve by 2030, except the first one, that is 2070. Means if we also keep the net zero, our target of achieving net zero by 2030, we can't meet this requirement, because 2030 will be too early to be achieved by India, because net zero is not very easy thing to achieve. We have to we have to plant more trees, make ocean the source of sink. So there are many other things which would have been done in order to be net zero country. So 2030 is not the possible deadline by which we we could achieve this target. So the fifth point is reduce total projected carbon emission by 1 billion. Means we have to reduce the carbon emission by 1 billion tons. Whatever we are producing carbon, so we have to reduce that emission by 1 billion tons till 2030. In this video, बस I just want to stop at this point. If you like my video, kindly press the like button, subscribe my channel if you are new to this channel, and share with your friends. Thank you. Okay, bye.